Hello, 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 beautiful people. I hope all is well. Good afternoon. So I am late. I do apologize. The reason why I am late is because of my good friend, Mr. Marlon D. Slack, who needed some assistance today. And I held my good friend down. So this is why I am late. And I'm going to have to be brief because I have a meeting in 18 minutes, which is not great for me, but it is what it is. Welcome, Shanora, the confident one. Got it. Welcome, Cliff. Thank you for joining. Natasha, thank you for joining. Living life like it's golden. Absolutely, we need to live life like it's golden. Johnson, Jap, thank you, babes, for joining. D. Haddon. Trilla Skrilla, thank you for joining. Lady 7126, thank you for joining. And thank you, Japa Black, for purchasing a badge to support me in my efforts to create content for you multiple times a day, because it's a lot of work. But anywho, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump right in. So today is Wednesday. Every Wednesday, I do a live Q&A session. I take questions that have been placed in my stories the day before. It looks something like this. Place it in my story. Not something like this. It looks just like this every single week for continuity. And folks go ahead and they put their questions that they have in regards to dating and relationships. And on Wednesdays, I come on and I answer those questions. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in because, as I said, unfortunately, I only have 17 minutes with y'all today. And so I want to make sure that I answer everyone's question. I'll make an effort to be as not to be as long-winded as I normally am. Thank you, Miss Stephanie Blair, for purchasing a badge. I appreciate you and I appreciate your support. Thank you, Lily, for joining. Thank you, One of a Kind Key, for joining. Marcy, thank you, thank you. So we're going to go ahead and jump right in. All right. So I received a question that says, does standards of a date vary from city to city? Do standards of a date vary from city to city? That's an excellent question. It is a question I'm going to be answering in my live masterclass on June 6th at 12 Eastern called Dating 101. I'm going to give you the brief synopsis because this is our weekly Q&A. So, do the standards of a date vary from city to city? I would not say that it's going to vary from city to city. I'm going to say that the culture varies from city to city. And so as a result, expectations do vary from city to city. Now, if you decide that there is a budget that you are going to hold no matter where you are located on this green earth, right? And that's the most that you're willing to invest in a date, that's perfectly fine. But what I find is that many times folks who are dating in Miami and folks who are dating in LA have a bit of a more difficult time than they do in other regions in this country. And if you are dating in other countries, then culturally things are going to vary. So the standards vary in regards to a date. I wouldn't say yes, but what I would say is that dating is sometimes more difficult to do depending on where you are. Especially in LA, and I've had 2 LA clients and I've had LA friends. And what they shared with me is that what they find is that there's a lot of, how do I put this nicely so I don't insult my folks who are in California? There's a lot of shallowness in California. And a lot of times folks are looking for their next come up. Like, how can I use you to get to my next level of wherever I'm pursuing in my life? So it does. So I guess, you know what? Let me take that back. It does vary. It's going to vary depending on where you are, because the dating scene varies depending on where you are. And there's a lot more to that conversation if you join me on June 6th, Dating 101 Masterclass at 12 noon Eastern on Zoom. Click the link in my bio. If you are on my VIP list, the class is $37 for you. If you are not on my VIP list, the class is $47. If you want to join the VIP list when we're done, click the link in my bio, go to the bottom, and click on join VIP list or something like that. It'll be very transparent. So again, if you're on the VIP list, the class is $37. Thank you, Fly Cade. I hope I didn't get that wrong. Good afternoon, Brit Brat. Okay, next question. Do women need to dress a certain way to attract the right man? And right was put in quotation marks. Do women need to dress a certain way to attract the right man? So I'm glad that you put the quotation marks around right man, because the right man for me is my husband. The right man for you may not be him, right? I'm the right woman for him, and I know I'm not the right woman for a lot of men. So what is right or what is wrong completely depends on what your non-negotiables are. I preach this almost every time I go live. When you are dating, you need to know and get a clarity on exactly what you're looking for in a mate. You should have a list of the qualifications that you are looking for. What I recommend is 5 to 6. We need to keep it short and sweet. Obviously, your partner will have lots more, but in the dating scene, we need to be able to assess relatively quickly whether or not this person is worth our time, right? So when you have your list of your non-negotiables, you know exactly what you're looking for in a mate. It's what you're looking for in a mate. It's the right man or the right woman for you. So I can't answer the question of, do women need to dress a certain way for the right man? They may need to dress a certain way for their man, right? If the right man for you is a devout Christian, then yes, the way that you dress will impact your ability to attract him, right? If he's a devout Muslim, then yes, the way that you dress may have an impact. If he is an older gentleman, he's more traditional. If he's a young fly dude from the block, like, it really depends on what you are looking for and what you value. So the way that you dress, yes, can impact who you attract, but I can't tell you what's the right way to dress for the right man, because the right man or the right woman depends on what you are looking for. And I hope that answers the question. Sorry that I'm going so fast, guys. Again, if you are just joining, my name is Alison. I am a dating and relationship coach. I primarily work with singles to help them find the love and commitment that they deserve. Every Wednesday, I do a Q&A live stream. So obviously, my profession is to be a coach, but I offer my services for free. Every Wednesday, I go live and I answer your Q&A questions. Those questions are placed in my stories the day before. If you DM me, I may not get it. I have it all organized, right? So please go ahead. Every Tuesday, I post in my stories. You drop your question. On Wednesday, I go live. I read the question anonymously, and then I answer it to the best of my ability in the time that we have. Unfortunately, today I cannot take any questions live in the queue because time is of the essence, but I will answer, as every week, every single question that's asked of me in my stories. Welcome everybody who's just joining. All right, next question. How do you know if a man is serious versus a man who's just trying to get into your pants? Thank you, Miss Serenity, for the badge. How do you know if a man is serious versus a man who is just trying to get into your pants? That's an excellent question. So the first thing is, I'm gonna sit up a little bit for this one. I'm not a Steve Harvey follower, right? But there is something to say about waiting some time before engaging in sexual activity with a partner or a potential mate, right? So you need time in order to discern whether or not this person is using you. Now, could it be that you could wait 90 days, 100 days, 2 years, they get access to your body, and then now they disappear? Absolutely. But this is a numbers game, and men understand that dating is a numbers game. So they are not going to, more likely than not, unless you're like their high school, crush, more likely than not, if all they're looking for is access to you physically, and you have a requirement or requirements of them, meaning that you are engaging in conversation every day, that you go out on physical dates, like if you have standards, right, to get to know each other, then sooner rather than later, if they realize that you're not putting out as quickly as they will like, they will excuse themselves. They will excuse themselves. So there is a lot to say about, if you are unsure, if you're dating someone you don't know, right? Like, this isn't the friend of a friend. This isn't anyone that you've been able to vet through someone else, right? If you haven't known them for years, then there is something to say about putting some kind of relative deadline around putting out so quickly if you're afraid that perhaps they're using you for sex. Now, if you want to be intimate with this person, if you are looking for, in essence, I'm sorry to say this so early in the day, but to get off, right? Then it's no concern of you as whether or not they're there to use you. But if your concern is you have no necessary interest in being intimate with them in that regard very quickly, and you are concerned that you think that they may be using you for sex, then it may be in your best interest to wait until you feel comfortable, until you have some level of assurance. until you see that they have invested in you in terms of time, in terms of money, right? Because dates cost money, that they have invested and have some skin in the game before you give up the skins, right? So I think that time is going to help you to discern. Now, how much time you choose is 100% up to you. It could be the 30 days, the 60 days, the 90 days, a year, 2 years. It's your choice. And that's up to you as an individual. But time does help you to assess whether or not this person is legitimately interested in you and invested in you and putting the time and the effort and the energy, versus you've gone out on one date and then you decide that you want to engage in those adult activities and then you're surprised when they disappear, right? So put some time in. And what I would recommend for women particularly, because again, men have a better hold of this dating game, and this is what I share in Dating 101, my masterclass on June 6th, we have to date more than one person at a time. You cannot have all of your eggs in one basket. If you are dating only one person, and again, the kind of dating I'm talking about is you don't know this person. This is not a connection that's made through a cousin that, can highly regard, no, right? Like, we're talking about you're meeting people in public, you're meeting people online. You should be dating more than one person at a time, because you need to gauge whether or not this person or these people, of any of these people, are an appropriate match to you. Why would you put all of your eggs in one basket? So that when that one person doesn't work out, now you're really sad and blue. And are you really that sad, or are you sad because you feel lonely? Is it because you lost out on a guy that you were talking to for 3 weeks? Or is it because this is a constant reminder of what you don't have? We do not put all of our eggs in one basket. We date multiple people. Does not mean that you're sleeping with all of them or any of them. You date multiple people, you get to know them, and then you assess over time who you think is the most appropriate match. And then you can start to let go of the extras, or they'll let go of you, right? Because this is not a one-way street. 75% of my audience are female. So then, I'm not that good at math. I would say probably out of those who are watching my live actively right now, which is like 16, that means 12 of you are probably women, right? So I'm speaking to you, ladies. You are not the only one who gets to choose whether or not someone is an appropriate match. You are not the only one who says, I'm not really feeling them, right? When you go on dates with these guys, they're also assessing you too, and they're deciding whether or not you're an appropriate match. You may not be an appropriate match for a solid reason, right? He's a real silly, kind of fun-loving kind of guy, and you're super stoic and serious. He's a conservative and you are a radical, whatever. He may decide this is not going to work. It may be for a silly reason. You guys are having, what's silly to me, right? Because what's silly to me isn't silly to everybody. It may be a silly reason. It may be that he mentioned actually that's not really silly, but it could be something fundamental, like he's expecting a second mother and you are not willing to be that person, right? Whatever it is, men also decide whether or not someone is an appropriate match. And they will either hopefully do the right thing, as every person should do, which is to say, hey, we had a great time, but I'm not really feeling the connection and I wish you all the best, or they can ghost you. Either way it goes, you ain't the only one, sis. You ain't the only one who's making decisions whether or not someone is an appropriate match. So as a result, you should be dating multiple people so that you're not invested all in James, and 5 weeks later, James decides he's going to ghost you because you said something or you did something that turned him off, right, wrong, or indifferent, right? They're making decisions too. So just be mindful of that. I got a video that I got to do about the prize. We got to start talking about who's prizes and who's not prizes, and get away from this language of the prizes and who's not the right. Anywho. As I said, guys, if you're just joining, I'm actually super short for time. I can only take the questions that have been sent to me via stories, and I got to run. So I'm going to get through this and I'm going to stop running my mouth. All right, next question. Should my boyfriend of 6 months be putting me as a priority yet? He has a lot going on, but it bothers, I assume she was going to say, it bothers me. So should my boyfriend of 6 months be putting me as a priority yet? He has a lot going on, but it bothers me. So what I would say first, obviously I don't have a lot of information. I need to know what is a lot going on. Sometimes what you have that's a lot that's going on is legitimate. And sometimes what people have that's a lot going on is illegitimate. I'm going to say this, and y'all probably won't like it. One of the number one excuses that I hear, particularly from men when they become distant, is when someone dies. Someone in their life dies. You are their girlfriend and they become distant. Guess what? That's not a legitimate reason. It's just not. Like, if I am your significant other and you have had a major loss in your life, you're supposed to be turning to me for support, right? So again, I'm going to go back to, I don't know what he has that's a lot going on. I think that each person needs to judge and assess what they believe they consider as a lot going on and then make decisions from there. If you honestly believe that he has gone through so much recently that he really honestly is not in an emotional position to invest in you and make you a priority, then you have to excuse it, even if it bothers you. If you don't believe that what he's going through is a legitimate reason that you are not a priority to him, then you've made up your mind. I think we also need to have a conversation about what we consider. Like, I feel like we use the words someone is a priority versus the number one priority. So my business is a priority to me. It's not my number one priority, right? I was going to lie and say that exercise is a priority. It's absolutely not, and it should be. But there are lots of things that are priorities. Are you asking to be this gentleman's number one priority? Because that might not be practical. Or are you asking to be a priority, which again, I don't know what he's going through, but even if he's going through a lot, you should be a priority if you are his committed mate. I hope that answers your question. Moving on. Should you wait to date until you are fit or the size you want to be? Quick answer is no. No. Time is of the essence. If you are in my audience and you are my people, the people I'm talking to directly are those who are my age. I know that I look young for my age. I'm talking about mid-30s and later. We don't have time as women. We do not have time. We don't have time to BS with somebody's son who keeps putting off commitment or whatever it is that we require. We don't have time biologically if we want to have children or want to have more children. So we are not waiting until we're the right size. We are actively working towards the size that we want to be as we date. That's what we're doing. And if you want more details, I'm hosting Dating 101, the masterclass, June 6th, 12 noon Eastern. Click the link in my bio. If you are on my VIP list, it is $37 for you. If you are not on the VIP list, it's $47. And you can very easily join that VIP list. At the end of this live, click the link in my bio, go absolutely to the bottom and join the VIP list. If you're interested in signing up for the class, click the link in my bio, first button, Dating 101. Okay, next. What's your thoughts on the whole woman proposing to men? Should a woman do it? It's a very interesting question. It's very interesting because it's very timely. I've seen all of the dramatic, you couldn't pay me, I'd rather eat glass, I'd rather mop the ocean than ask a man. And I'm going to tell you that that is me and me is she. I don't have to worry about that anymore. But I am not asking anyone's son for their hand in marriage. I am not getting down on any knee with any box with a ring in it to ask for anybody's anything. Not doing that. However, I am not here to judge anyone else's process. So if there is a woman out there who has asked for her now fiance or now husband's hand in marriage and they are happy, that is their business. It's the same thing when we talk about, who's splitting the bills. Whatever works in your household with your family and your finances and your savings and your investment is your business. Very famous line. I usually don't curse on live, but very famous line that Jay-Z said that sticks to me, has stuck to me for 20 plus years is what you eat don't make me shit. I don't care what you do in your relationship if you're happy. If you're happy and you're fulfilled and you think there's nothing wrong with getting down on one knee as a woman and asking for his hand in marriage, and go on, sister. Power to you. Me? Never. Okay. Next. Could you be cool with someone your spouse cheated on you with? She is unaware. So my spouse cheated on me with a woman she doesn't know that we are married. I hope that you're on here, so maybe you could clarify. Would I be cool with someone your spouse cheated on you with? So my spouse cheated on me with a woman. The woman didn't know that we were married. So that means that we didn't know each other before the cheating. Because if she knew me, she'd know who my husband was. So I met the side chick after they cheated. She doesn't know still that that's my husband. Would I be cool with her? No. And not because she did anything wrong. It's awkward. How could we ever build a friendship? She's never going to be able to come to my house. We're never going to be able to go to social settings together. So again, not because she did anything wrong, but no. Nope, can't be. I don't see how that's going to function. As long as you're my friend, I need you to be welcome to my house, the baby showers, the blessings, the vacations, couples retreats. Like, you're going to be in my house. And if you slept with my husband, well, let's talk about whether or not I even be with my husband. I ain't got time for that today. But if I'm still with my husband, then it's just too awkward. Again, I am the number one person who will never blame the side chick, especially if she doesn't know. And even if she did, it's like, okay, adios, right? But that's not the person who promised me a thing. So I don't care. I'm not holding any woman accountable, even though woman to woman, we should look out for each other. But that's not where my beef is, right? At least primarily. Extremely secondary, like tertiary, right? My primary concern is my husband. But if I chose to stay with my husband after he cheated on me, and I met his side chick and she didn't know, she's going to find out if she becomes my friend. And then how are we going to chill? Like, that just doesn't work. Last question, guys. Love you so much. So that's the meeting I was supposed to be at 3 minutes ago that's calling me. Hi, did your best dating advice come from someone single or married? Oh, that's a good question. So my best dating advice comes honestly from me, before marriage, during engagement. Yeah, you're looking for me. Did your best dating advice come from someone single or married? It came from me. My best dating advice comes from me. And I know that might sound super egotistical, but in reality, I am an extremely rational human being. So I apply logic and reason to everything that I do. And as a result of that, I have found plenty of success. When we dedicate emotion and take logic and reason out of our decision making, that's when we falter. That's when we falter. And I want to go back to a point that I make all the time. When I use the word emotion, I'm not talking exclusively about women. Men are extremely emotional. Just because they may not cry as much as we do and show that emotion, punching a hole in the wall is emotion. Hopping out of a car on the highway when someone cuts you off is emotion, right? You shoot somebody because they tried to talk to your girl or they stepped on your shoes in the train. That's emotion. So when you remove emotion out of a situation and can apply logic and reason, you are going to find success. So my best dating advice comes from me and people who are like me, who are logical and reasonable and can detach emotion from decision making. Because everything that happens to us, well, I shouldn't say everything, most things that happen to us in our lives happen because of us. Now, I'm not talking about childhood abuse. I'm not talking about rape and things of that nature. But for the most part, where we are, especially if you live in America or in a free country, where we are is because of a series of decisions that we've chosen to make. As a result, our romantic relationships and our romantic status is usually as a result of the choices that we choose to make. When we make decisions based off of emotion, it becomes problematic. When you make decisions both based off of reason and logic and then emotion, that's when you're going to find the most success and the most happiness. Again, for anyone who is just joining, I'm so glad that you're here. Every Wednesday, I do a live Q&A for dating and relationships. The way that you can submit your questions is through my stories every Tuesday. I am hosting Dating 101, a masterclass. If you are a part of my VIP list, the class is going now until 11:59 p.m. Eastern tonight for $37. If you're not a part of it, it is $47 to join the VIP list. Click the link on my bio, scroll absolutely to the bottom, and you will enter in your email to join. If you don't want to be a part of the VIP list, but you still want to be a part of the class, or you need to register for the class, period, click the link in my bio. The first button will say Dating 101. It's hosted live through Zoom on June 6th at 12 Eastern. It will be recorded, so if you missed the class or you come in late, you will automatically receive the recording. If there's anyone who is just joining the live, this will also be posted in my IGTV, so if you want to rewind and check it out, please feel free to do so. If you know anyone who can benefit from my content, if you know anyone who can benefit from a piece of solid, logical, reasonable advice that's going to get them to a place of happiness in their romantic life, then go ahead and share my page with them. I would greatly appreciate that. I'll be back on, am I going live today? No, I'll be live tomorrow. Ooh, tomorrow's live is going to be super popping. I am going to be having, let me get her name right. I don't want to get it wrong. That Goddess Energy, that's her name. That Goddess Energy, I am going to be interviewing her about feminine energy, because that's been a lot of the conversation recently in social media about femininity and masculinity and what it looks like and what it means and whose fault is it that we don't have it and how do we muster it all up. So that'll be tomorrow. Love you guys. Gotta go late for my meeting, but you guys are a priority. Adios, amigos. Bye.